It's finally over. The GM search has concluded, and it's not just a GM search. It was also a search for the new president, or should I say, presidents of hockey operations, and the new GM, as the Vancouver Canucks have selected the Sedin twins to be co-presidents of hockey operations, or co-po-hos, as a lot of people have been calling it, and Ryan Johnson as the 13th general manager in franchise history. And yes, they made a great decision. I believe it is a great decision. I think, honestly, it's just what I wanted. Honestly, I didn't think the Sedins, general manager, I was Ryan Johnson all the way. Evan Gold intrigued me. I think that Ryan Johnson and Evan Gold were like there because I really liked Evan Gold's analytical. And I liked Ryan Johnson. But you know what? We're going to get into my thoughts later. I don't know why I'm like spieling into my thoughts at the moment. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the CanucksLand Podcast, the first CanucksLand Podcast in a while. We're talking the GM hires, the president's hires, and the topics today are who's in, what's their goals, strengths and weaknesses, and my thoughts. The ticker is not updated. I'll update it later, but a friendly reminder before we get into it. Tomorrow is our 12-hour charity live stream where we're going to be raising money for BC Children's Hospital. We've been raising it all month, and tomorrow is our last big hurrah before the final day, which is Sunday, May 17th. So thank you guys so much, because guess what? We're at $1,145 raised in total so far. Our goal was originally $500, and then I said if we hit that before the end of the first 2 weeks, we'll up it to $750. We upped it to $750 like 3 days later. Boom, right past it. We were up above 1,000. It was like, it's truly awesome. Thank you guys so much. Everyone who's donated, shared the link, everyone who's a part of it. So yeah, show out one more time for us as we do a fun 12-hour charity live stream. We'll have a bunch of people on from throughout the whole charity event. Some people that you've seen in some videos, maybe some people you haven't seen in some videos. And we'll also have games. We'll do fun stuff. We'll play some Chell. We might do a live franchise mode. We just had a really great episode. It's going to be at the end of the video if you want to go click and watch it. It is an hour long, but it is a great episode. We'll continue that hopefully if we have some time. We'll also play Chell. We'll do like I don't know, Chell's kind of hard to play, but also do have some Hockey Sense Arena. I didn't pay for it. I might pay for 1 month. I don't know. I forget how much it is. We'll see. But yeah, come join us. It'll be fun. So without further ado, let's get into the topic of this video. And that is the GM search concluding. And let's just drop this a little bit. I feel like it's a little too tight for my liking. Who's in? Ryan Johnson is your GM, and the Sedins are your co-po-hos, co-presidents of hockey operations. Great decisions. I really like it. I like Ryan Johnson wrote this whole process, and I thought that's who they should go pick up. The Sedins kind of came out of nowhere, and I think it's a great hire, but I think there's some, we'll get into it in strengths and weaknesses. What is their goal? So a very quick and easy topic, but what is their goal? This one's also going to be a pretty quick and easy topic, although rebuilding the team to a championship contender is their main goal. That is, every team's goal. You want to build a championship winning team. That's obvious. What are their other goals? Their one big goal is culture. They want to rebuild the culture. The Sedins were here. The culture was awesome. People wanted to come to Vancouver. People loved being in Vancouver. The team was great. They worked hard. They pushed each other. I feel like a lot of that has been gone. I don't know if you have noticed, but I certainly have noticed that hasn't been gone. Obviously, you guys noticed. It's a big topic in Canucks land throughout the past few seasons is the culture, especially with the whole team imploding. I'm just questioning, was the culture really that good? That one good playoff run, the bubble playoffs count too. I mean, we got lucky to get in those, but we had that one playoff run, vibes were high, and then, we thought vibes were high this year, but it didn't really seem like it. It just wasn't that great. And I forgot L on Reichel and my thing on the ticker. I just noticed that. Just vibes weren't good, so they want to rebuild it. They want to also bring the Canucks back into the community and really have the Canucks work hard and being bigger parts of the community, which was a big thing back in the day. Back in, when I was in BC Children's Hospital, the Canucks visited as a team. Matt Cook beat Finn up for me. I've had a couple visits from them. I had my Make-A-Wish with Bo. I mean, that was more coming into more recent Canucks times, but I think that change hadn't really fully happened yet. I mean, the Sedins were still there. The Sedins were awesome. I mean, we walked into the room where the players were, and the first two people to stand up, shake all our hands, were Henrik and Daniel. Truly amazing people. And those are the type of people you want to build a culture around. And we did. So you want to bring what they have, what they learned, what they have, and bring it into what you can build. And that's exactly what it seems like they're going to be doing. This is what we need, is a big culture reset. Make Vancouver a place that people want to come to, people want to play, a place where people want to push themselves to be better and work harder every single day. And and that applies to Henrik, Daniel, and Ryan Johnson as well. Maybe they've never made an actual NHL trade before. They never made a July 1st signing. Maybe they've made a draft pick. Probably not, but they have probably never made a draft pick. They're going to push each other as hard as they possibly can to get as good as they can at those hockey stuffs. They're going to work hard. They're going to push each other to be better. They're going to, if they make a mistake, I'm sure they're going to be able to not only be accountable, take accountability, but also work on making themselves better so that they don't make a mistake next. Obviously, they're going to make a bunch of mistakes, but it's just the way that this looks in terms of how they want to build the culture, how the culture was with them. It's their main mission and goal. It's to build the Vancouver Canucks into being something that is great and that people want to come play. People want to come. People want to come play here. People want to stay and play. People want to work hard. They want to make wearing. I know I'm not wearing a Canucks jersey, but the crest, on the chest right here. They want to make that valuable. Pretend it's a Vancouver Canucks. I only wear this because it's my CanucksLand jersey and I really like it. But the Vancouver Canucks, pretend it's the Vancouver Canucks logo. People want to have this logo right here. They want to be proud of it, and they want to leave the logo better than where they found it. I think it's perfect. We just need a culture rehaul. Everything that gone on in the past few seasons, sure, you can blame management for some of it, but a lot of it had to do with culture. And culture is a word that people throw around a lot, and people are like, how does the culture really matter? I mean, we have firsthand seeing what culture really does do. The JT Miller Elias Pettersson situation, that's culture. The JT Miller Bo Horvath situation, that's culture. Quinn Hughes not really wanting to be here. I mean, if we had a better culture, maybe he wanted to stay. You know what I mean? All these things could have probably been turned around. Maybe not the Quinn Hughes thing, but, all these big things were due to culture. So that is their big main goal. And obviously the goal is to try to build the team into a championship contender, so they're going to be going slow through the rebuild. They said that if you want to do this rebuild fast, and I was like, oh no, please don't say it. You have to go as slow as possible. And I was like, oh my. That's some great things to hear. The press conference was really good. I enjoyed it. I listened to it at work. Therefore, having listened to it at work, and as soon as they started the press conference, the plumbers started drilling. So it was kind of hard to listen to it in its full entirety, but I got most of it. And I mean, I really liked what I heard. Obviously, you can talk the talk. They got to walk the walk. They got to go and show us. And obviously, it's been one day. No, they haven't shown us. They haven't fired Foote. They haven't traded Pettersson. They haven't traded Besser and DeBrusk. I'm already out on this. It's been one day. No, they have until the start of the season to really, truly. I mean, I feel like I'm giving them a long runway. I want to see some things done pretty close to immediately, and I'll get to that later. But I think that I'm going to give them the runway to the start of the season to see what their direction, to show me what their direction is, because you get a little bit more of a reach in terms of what they've done, and you get to kind of see, all right, looks like what the direction could be. So I'm going to give them that leeway. A lot of people might give them less. Some people might give them more. I'm going to give them that leeway to show me their direction at start. Obviously, their direction can change, but I hope it doesn't change to where it's just David Pastrnak. I mean, obviously, it would be awesome for David Pastrnak, but a big player. Let's go get him. Trade a bunch of assets. Boyum, Vilander, Coots, out the door, and we bring in good players, even though and then they don't turn out to be great players. But I'll give them the runway. We'll see what they'll do, and hopefully they're able to do it. I think that's it for what is their goal. Kind of went through it. I don't think they really said much else that I could totally remember. Culture, community, and community kind of has a lot of things to do with the culture. Working hard. They want the players to work hard in the summers. The summer's the only really big thing the players can control. The Sedins said that their best summers they had ended in them having their best seasons. So, Elias Pettersson was brought up as well. Strengths and weaknesses. Let's get right into their strengths and their weaknesses. I feel like my thoughts are going to cover a lot, so hopefully I'll get this nice and long for you guys, but also I don't want to go too long because I got to upload this tonight. But yeah, strengths and weaknesses. I think their strengths are development. I mean, this, you look at it, what they've done with Linus Karlsson, Max Sasson, DPD had a small time in Abbotsford, able to develop great. Like, these three were working in Abbotsford a lot. There's another guy working in Abbotsford. I'll get into my thoughts later, who I think should be brought up, and I feel like developmental will be really, really good, and I feel like they'll be able to find some people who are like-minded in development to hopefully fill out the rest of the spots in Abbotsford and player development that are missing. There's a nice guy in Montreal called Alex Burrows who, you could bring the trio back, but I feel like that's unrealistic because Burrows probably likes being out there near his family, but just saying, it'd be nice if Alex Burrows came back. I'd be very happy. Yeah, I think their strength is mainly player development, culture, just being able to set not just like an authority, but kind of like just this is what we expect. And if you don't really believe us, come meet us at the Grouse Grind. We'll beat you. Grouse Grind got too boring. That's how the Sedins just picked this job up. We can't do the grind anymore. It's just too boring for us. We beat everybody. So hopefully, those strengths really shine. Their weaknesses, though, analytical, and analytical scouting, I would put as a half and half. I feel like the Sedins have done some scouting. Ryan Johnson has done some scouting. They said they have a great scouting department that they do trust. I want them to surround themselves with really, really good scouts and hopefully some good leadership when it comes to the scouts. Some people that they really trust, some people that they really appreciate and could help boost it. Like, maybe they do have some scouting background, they feel solid in it, but if you bring some people in, that just raises the bar. That's exactly what you need to do. Another thing you can bring in is analytical. Like, bring in a nerd. Some absolute nerds. Just get some nerds in this building here. And I want them to bring in a couple nerds, fill out a nice analytical department, bring it up to what apparently it is, because apparently with the rumors with Evan Gold, he didn't really like the analytical department. He really wanted to overhaul it. But it sounds like Francesco Aquilini was being too cheap, so I don't know how they're going to overhaul it here, but hopefully he trusts them enough, to overhaul it. Maybe he's just like, I don't want some stinking guy coming in from out far, coming in and making me spend a bunch of money. You know what, the Sedins, though, they're really convincing. I really want them to bump up the analytics. I really want them to bump up the scouting. Just the two things that, the two main things that I think that they're having trouble with, and maybe couple advisors that have been around the business for a bit. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you can't really bring in Shane Doan as an advisor when he left Toronto, because I feel like he wants a job upgrade. But maybe if he isn't able to find that upgrade, a guy like Shane Doan, I don't know, but they do have Rutherford, I think, as a general advisor or whatever it was. Just bring in some advisors to help out on the trade department and like the contract department. Maybe an agent who wants to come in and help out, move into an AGM role, maybe. But yeah, build up I feel like the analytical department and the scouting department, build those up, get some people you trust, and really boost your weaknesses, so that you don't have to rely too much on you to try to boost it, and you can learn as well, and you'll get better as you go. So yeah, maybe some advisors to help out with the trade signings, like an agent maybe, some scouting. Judd Brackett's name's out there. I'm not sure if that's realistic as an AGM to bump up the scouting, and analytical. Really need to bump up the analytical department. I feel like their development is really, really good. They're going to do really good with developmental. They just got to boost up all the other stuff. And yeah, my thoughts. Let's get into it. All right, I have said a lot of thoughts so far, but I will go into my entirety because I haven't really covered the GM search too much. I mean, the last video I made, I didn't even know Evan Gold was. I didn't even know who Evan Gold was. I had to make a video quickly. I was moving. I was like, all right, we'll do this. Didn't even know who Evan Gold was. I think it was the first video I made in here. So yeah, without further ado, let's wind the clock back because I don't even know if I talked about the Pierre Dorion day. So originally, a big thing was Pierre Dorion was the frontrunner to become the GM of the Vancouver Canucks. If I could throw my chair, I would throw my chair. That's how much I didn't like it. That's how much a lot of us didn't like it. And we campaigned, and he was out of there. So yeah, Pierre Dorion, that was a bit of a scare. That could be kind of like a Jim Benning. I mean, like the 7 years he was in Ottawa, they made it to playoffs 1 year. That's it. This wasn't good. Thank God we didn't do that. And then the last two candidates were Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson, for me, when I was thinking about it, it's like I really, really like what he'd done with Abbotsford. Like it was a slow process. The finds that he's able to find, like Chase Waters was a really good find. I forget if Baines was an Abbotsford find, or not. Beckett Schmeck, like very, very good find so far. Hopefully, he's able to take the next step. Some others. Trying to think. Sasson was a college Abbotsford find, I'm pretty sure. I like Brimmer's physicality. I don't know if his offensive game is there. Maybe they bring Brimmer back next season. I don't know. Ben Berard looks fine. I don't know if he'll ever play in Vancouver, but I like him in Abbotsford. Some good finds, built a solid team, and I feel like he's going to be able to find those type of players that he can like mold into better players in the NHL. A little bit more freedom when it comes to it. Especially with how free agency is going to be this year. It's not going to be a lot of big guys, a lot of big names. So it's just kind of, you know, find the small names, boost their value, and ship them off. This is exactly what you need to do in a rebuild. So I feel like Ryan Johnson, that's a big strength for him. Evan Gold, though, analytical, completely different than what we've seen in the past in terms of Vancouver Canucks general managers. Would have been a fresh air, nice change. Some nice fresh air to bring into the organization. Analytical will boost it up. I mean, he's not very business. You know, he has a law degree. Not entirely analytical, but he would have brought in that Langenberger, I think is his name, from Boston. Boost up the analytical department. But yeah, I like both candidates, and I like them for different reasons. But I like Ryan Johnson a little bit more because when I was in Abbotsford for a season ticket member thing, he made a really nice speech. And and the way he was just talking to season ticket members, go up. I didn't get the chance to talk to him. I really wish that I did get the chance to talk to him. I hope I get the chance to talk to him in the future because he seems like a really nice guy. But he was going around talking to season ticket members, having good conversations with them, and I really like to see it. And that just shows community outreach. Like he's just going out and talking to season ticket members. He doesn't have to. He could just stand there and wait for his time to go up on stage. But he go talk to some of the season ticket members. It was really nice to see. It kind of sold me there. Really sold. Like I was high on him being the GM if we were gonna make a move, and I was like, all right, if we make a GM move, I want it to be Ryan Johnson. But I want them to make a search, and I'm happy they made the search. Sedins, perfect. You could have brought in a guy who had more experience. You could have brought in a guy who would have been able to help out hockey-wise a little bit better. But, I really, really like this just because we should build the culture up first, and they will learn to, they have some things to go off of. You don't have a complete, you got to learn how to do the stuff, but you kind of have a basis to go off of what to do and not to do. What's a bad trade? What's a good trade? What's a bad signing? What's a good signing? Kind of have that. You got your developmental minds. You got your asset, not asset management, your player being able to scout the players, see what was wrong with those, and you can kind of learn, but you got to learn how to do it. So those are the things that those guys will have to learn to do, but I feel like they could do it. I definitely feel like that they could do it. I really like all these signings. I really do. I'm excited. I haven't been as hopeful. I mean, call me the most hopeful Canucks fan on the internet because honestly, I thought they were going to make the playoffs this past season, and they didn't. I was very hopeful, but I have a lot of hope with how they brought in and just how good they were talking. I really like the press conference, and it's just like I really, really like what I'm seeing. And when I heard Jason Bruff in the morning being so excited before Thomas Drance came in and tried to ruin everything, that's a big thing. Bruff, I've listened to Helfer and Bruff in the morning consistently since I started working because it's something to listen to. And he's been very critical. This is the first time I've heard him be like, I'm really hopeful. And I'm not trying to take my opinion based off of just what I heard from him. Like, I was like, it affirmed how I was feeling. I was feeling very hopeful. Hearing someone who is also critical, but realistically critical, be so hopeful, it sold me 100% on how I was feeling, that it made me feel better about like how hopeful I was. When it came to this, I'm very hopeful. I hope you guys are. But that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up there. So, yeah, I'm so hopeful for this. I'm so excited. Hopefully, they do a great job. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, if you're a Canucks fan, you enjoy this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like. Comment down below what you guys thought about these signings. What do you thought about my thoughts in this video? But, yeah, without further ado, that is it for this one. Come check out the charity live stream. It's going to be so much fun. Come donate if you're able to. And if you're unable to, share the link, share the stream. Bring in a lot of Canucks fans. We'll have a good time, and we'll raise a lot of money doing so. Thank you so much if you are able to come, and if you're not, and you are able to share the link, that would be awesome. But without further ado, the video on your right is the video from Wednesday. The video on your left is the video from Monday. Subscribe right down to there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.